Hello and welcome back to the Little Craft House. Today we are going to be doing a faux ceramic style technique to make some earrings. So this is a style that I've seen around quite a bit recently, but I didn't know quite how to do it. I've been playing around working out the best way that I like to create them. So I thought I would share those techniques with you guys today. Okay, so I didn't mention in that intro there, but as usual, my earrings are going to be made out of polymer clay today. And so I've chosen to use some Sculpey White Premo polymer clay for the base of these ceramic style earrings. Now I've chosen to use white as I think that the colours of our glaze will stand out best against white, opposed to if I chose to use a coloured clay. And I'm thinking I'm going to make a few pairs of earrings today. But I'm just going to start with a small piece of clay, get this one conditioned and use this first, and we can always add some more clay to it afterwards if I do need any more clay. And so to condition the clay, I'm just going to use my acrylic roller. I'm trying to avoid using my pasta machine recently. It needs a good clean, so all my clays are coming out dirty out of it. So yeah, just the acrylic roller. And I've got my acrylic slab square here, which is a bit of a depth guide, a bit of a guide for keeping the levels of my clay equal. So this way the clays are all going to be at the 3mm thickness, which is my preferred thickness for earrings. Now that our clay is nice and rolled out, we're going to add some texture to it. I like to add some texture because it's going to give it a nice effect once the glaze is applied and making it more like a ceramic tile. So there's a few options that we can do. Okay, so I'm just going to lean awkwardly over my table here to get to my shelf, but we've got quite a few options for adding the texture to our polymer clay. So this is my basket of textures, lots of different things in here that we can use. So I've got some of these Sculpey molds. They're just the really thin ones. They work really well for putting texture onto your clay. I've also got some of these like plastic plates, I suppose, pressing plates. They can put some texture in. I've also got some acrylic rollers like this. I've got a bunch of acrylic texture sheets as well. So these ones are more like a stencil. So when you roll, the print comes up, or sorry, the clay rises up into those cutouts, and that gives a really good, nice 3D thick texture. Embossing folders, these are one of my favorite things to use. So these are like for originally for scrapbooking, but they're a folder, so you would normally put your paper inside, apply the pressure, and it puts the print into the paper. Or we can do it with the clay as well, and these are nice and cheap to buy as well. So you can either sandwich your clay in the center, so it puts the pattern top and bottom. One puts the pattern into it and one rises the pattern up, or you can just open it up and use either side. So these are one of my most favoriteest things to use for texture. And what else have I got? Oh, I had some little tiles in here too. Oh, I've got some rubber stamps, and I've got some of these little texture tiles as well. So I need to decide what I'm going to use. Okay, so I decided that we're going to use this texture tile. This is the cutter that I'm going to use with it, so it just fits on that print. So we're going to use that, and we're also going to use the Sculpey mold as well. I don't think this texture is going to be as deep because it's quite thin, but we're going to give it a go. Okay, and for the second one we're going to use this, but I just want this design, so we're going to have to do this twice. Oop, my hair. We're going to do it twice on the clay. I'm not sure if that's going to be deep enough, but we're going to give it a go anyway. I decided to just redo one more just to see if I can get it that little bit deeper, because the second one was deeper. That definitely looks better. Yep. All right, so what I'm going to do now is pop these into the oven and get them baked up. These ones and the other ones that I just did, and then we can apply their glaze. I also thought it might just be cute if I just did a couple of little white hearts as well. Okay, so while they're cooking, we are going to get our glazes ready. So I'm going to use this paint palette to mix my colours in, and I've chosen 3 different alcohol ink colours today. So I'm using the Panada Sapphire Blue, and then these 2 are from the Couture Creations range. This one is Watermelon, and this one is Pearl Lavender. So we're going to do those 3 colours, and we are going to mix them in with some, where's the name, translucent liquid clay. So that's the liquid Sculpey. Now it's really important when you're using the liquid Sculpey, to not throw the lid away like I just did, but to give it a really good stir. So I've got my little metal skewer here, and I'm just going to give it a really good stir before I use it, because you'll find that in the bottle it may separate and you'll get just liquid at the top and then glugginess down the bottom. So we just want to make sure that it's all nicely stirred and mixed in well. I've already given this a pre-stir, so it has had a good stir. Just wipe that off and we'll pop that lid back on. And we're just going to mix up the three different colours. 1, 2, 3. And then we'll give our alcohol inks a really good shake. I think I'm just going to do 2 drips of each one to start with. but I'm probably just going to do the one drip of the panada because that colour is so much more rich and intense that I definitely am not going to need 2 of those. And then with my little skewer, I'm now just going to give them a little mix in and get that all nicely mixed in. Actually, I might use my other tool because that seems to be scratching a little bit. Just use the ball tool for this one. Now I'm wanting to keep each of these colours quite pastel. I don't want to make them too dark. Just so that it's more realistic with like your glazes on ceramic tiles. So these are fresh out the oven. Pop them on the tile. Oh, they're still quite hot. I might just leave them for a moment just to cool down because we don't want to burn ourselves. So something I like to do when I'm painting my polymer clays, whether it be with paint or Posca paint markers or with this glaze that we've made up, to hold my pieces, I like to use a little bit of blue tack and stick it to my to a business card. This just helps to stop them from moving around, flipping over, and just being a general pain in the bum, which can happen sometimes. So I'm just going to stick these down. Now the only issue we might get is that they're now not flat because I'm putting that lump underneath of them, but I think they should be okay. A bit of tape would possibly work as well. I've got some sticky tape around here somewhere. I could do like double-sided sticky tape. That could work. That would be flatter. All right, let's start with these ones to start with. So I think I showed you guys doing these ones. I also used that same Sculpey mold and cut these out as well. I quite liked that design. So we're going to start with, I think we'll start with the pink and the purple. And I'm just going to get my little paintbrush. We'll do this one pink, this one purple. And with the paintbrush, we are just going to apply the liquid Sculpey. Now we don't want to apply too much because we want that raised imprint to sort of show up, to remain white, and we want the liquid Sculpey to all fall down into the pattern. So we don't want to apply it too thick because we don't want it coming over the tops. Actually, changed my mind. We're going to do these ones blue. Okay, and then the last ones I'm going to use the purple for, and then I'm going to just do the little love hearts with whatever mix I've got left. Alright, so this one's pretty tiny, but I'll show you what I just did a second ago. I applied some of the glaze on, making sure that it's getting down nice and deep into each of those patterns. And then I used my alcohol wipe to just wipe across the top, and that just kind of took off the colour from the raised bits, making it more sort of antique-y looking. So I'm going to bake those ones up as well, and we'll see how they turn out once they're cooked. All right, and as I mentioned before, so it is liquid Sculpey, so it does need to go back in the oven to cure. So I'm going to put them all back in now. I'm going to bake it for another half an hour, and we'll see how the colours, if the colours change, and how they change, and see what the effect is once it's cooked. Okay, fresh out the oven. They are super hot, but I couldn't wait to show you. They're looking really good. Even these little like tie-dye sort of ones that I created with the scraps. So careful not to burn my fingies here. Let's get them all off the tray and we can have a closer look. Okay, so I'm actually very happy with how these turned out. The only thing that I'm not happy with is that I must have splashed a bit of the blue ink into this one because it's got a few little speckles in it. But that's okay, it doesn't matter. I will know for next time to be super careful. But yeah, I'm really happy with how these turned out. The colours look amazing. And yeah, the patterns are really defined and they look awesome. So I'm really happy with how these turned out. So I can now go and sand around the edges, and I think I'm going to put a gold outline around the edges as well, just so that they are a little bit fancy around the edge. So I'm going to use my Posca paint pen to do a gold border around the edge of these pieces, and I'm just going to go very carefully just around the edge, just giving it that gold line. And then finally it's time to assemble them into the earrings. So just adding the findings, I'm just going super simple and just adding ball studs on 2 of these pairs. And the third one, I just have a really simple circular topper. I didn't want to go anything too fancy because obviously these guys are the main feature, so I didn't want to take that away with something big and chunky on the top. So yeah, cute. Whilst I was assembling these, my mind was running crazy with other ideas that this technique could be used for. And I'm going to hunt around later and see if I can find my bird cutter, because I reckon doing this technique on a larger size bird would be brilliant for a brooch, or even like some wall hangings or something like that. So yeah, my mind is racing with a whole bunch of other ideas of ways to use this technique other than just earrings. So yeah, maybe if you keep your eye out on my Instagram and Facebook pages, I might do it as a reel and show you guys what I come up with over there. Anyway, I hope this has got your minds racing full of ideas as well, and I hope you enjoyed watching me try out this technique and create these pieces. So thank you guys for watching. As I just mentioned, don't forget to head over to Instagram, Facebook, like those pages. Also like and subscribe here on YouTube, because then you'll be able to keep up to date with all my latest tutorials and all other things going on in the little craft house. So thank you once again for watching, and hope you've enjoyed this, and I shall see you again next week. Bye!